Hey everybody, alright, I'm back with the second tutorial, and in this we're going to start getting set up with AndEngine and making it all work out. So getting right into it, we're going to get started. First what you do is once you go to the Android manifest file here, now if it comes up here, like in this little screen, you'll see tabs at the bottom. Go to the Android manifest.xml so we can see the actual code. Now we're going to have to add in a lot of things here. So the first thing we need to do is we need to add in a few permissions. So add in some permissions here. It's going to be Android name, Android.permission.wake _ lock, and that's going to let us tell the Android system that we want to keep the screen on whether the user is touching it or not when the application is running. We're also going to add the Android.permission.vibrate, and that'll let it vibrate, obviously. I'm just going to copy and paste this here a few times. Next one's going to be internet, and then the access network state, so whether we're connected to the network or not. And these are just the requirements for what we're going to be doing and for also AndEngine. And then read phone state. Those are the different permissions that we're going to need for this. After that, we're going to have to go into the activity part and activity tags, and we're going to have to add in a few things here. First, we're going to do a little bit of a big thing. So we're going to type in activity. Make sure you follow along here. I'm sorry. We'll start Android config changes, and I actually have to type this inside of that. So Android config changes equals keyboard hidden orientation. So we're going to be changing a few of these things. We're going to let it's pretty much telling the Android that we're going to be able to change to these different things, or change these things like the screen size or the like the orientation. So we're going to change it to the landscape in a second. So we have to hold it sideways, and then MCC, and then what else was it? It was MNC. That's right, MNC. If I type it wrong, it should give you some errors, but if you typed it right, then it shouldn't give you any errors. And I'm thinking about just posting this in the description, so you guys don't have to type that all out. After that, we're going to add one more thing in. We're going to actually type it right above it. We're going to do Android screen orientation, and we're just going to do landscape. So they're going to hold the Android activity is going, or the activity is going to be held landscape side. So we're going to turn it to the side to use it. Alright, so that's pretty easy. I'm actually going to change this back to 17, by the way. So it's the highest one. Okay, and then we're going to go to the game activity. And now this is where it's pretty much going to start everything. So the first thing we're going to do is AndEngine uses the camera. So you're going to be able to move the camera, for example. So if you want to scroll the screen, you'll be able to use this camera to scroll it. So create a new variable at the top called camera. And when you import it, what you can do is you can hold down Control, Shift, and O, and you just press all those things at once, and it'll come up with different things to import. Or you can just put your mouse over it and import it that way. So we're going to import the AndEngine.engine.camera, import that one, and then on the on create engine options, this is where all the configurations are going to be set up. So like the wakelock, the size of the screen we want to use, the landscape, etc., etc. But first we need to do the camera. So we're going to do camera equals new camera, and we want it to start at 0, 0, and we want the height to be, we'll start at 800, and the width to be 480. Alright, then after that we're going to do, we have to create some engine options. So this is the actual configuration part, so the engine options. So create a new variable inside here, equals new engine options, and then the first one's going to be true for full screen, so we want it to be in full screen, obviously. Next one's going to be screen orientation.landscape fixed, and then we're going to set the new resolution ratio policy. So what this is going to do is it's really helpful. Like I was saying in my last, or I'm sorry, in the introductory where I announced that I was going to be making this tutorial, that for libgdx, it was really hard to keep the resolution across different devices. I mean, one phone's going to have a different resolution than a tablet, and it's hard to keep the same resolution between them. So this actually does it for you. So I'm just going to make it 800 by 480, and it's just saying that we want to keep the resolution at this, and it's going to create black bars around the sides. So say that the phone is a little bit bigger than it needs to be for the screen. Well, it's going to create black bars on the sides, just to prevent that from stretching the images for one, and also to make it not all out of shape and weird and in different locations and stuff. So it's really, really helpful. I really like that part of the whole engine itself because it does help a lot for those of you that have used other engines or tried to use other engines. Then from here on, we're going to be adding in, we're actually not going to add any music, but say you want to add music or sounds. We're going to do engine options dot get audio options, and this is where you're going to have to set if you want to add sounds later on, or music. So we're going to set needs music to true, and then after that you can actually just do dot sets need sound to true, and that'll let us use sound and music. After that, we're going to do the wakelock. So we're going to do engine options dot set wakelock options, and we're going to do wakelock options dot screen on. So that's pretty much just saying to keep the screen on. So if you, for example, if you lose your phone and you don't touch it for 20 seconds or whatever, it's gonna dim the screen to turn it off. With this application, what this is doing is pretty much saying don't turn off the screen regardless of whether or not they're touching it or not. So that's what that's gonna do. Then we're gonna do engine options dot get touch options, and we're gonna do set needs multi-touch to true. So what that is we're just pretty much saying we need to be able to let the we have to let the user touch twice on the screen. Now the thing is, some of the older phones actually don't support multi-touch. So one of the things we have to do is we have to see whether or not they actually support it. So we're going to do if, and there's an easy function for that. We're going to do if multi-touch dot is supported, and we're just going to do this. I'm actually going to put an exclamation mark in front of it. So if multi-touch isn't supported in this case, so if it's equal to false, then we're pretty much just going to say toast dot make text, and we'll do this, and we're just going to tell them pretty much that your phone doesn't support multi-touch. You're going to have a little problem with this. You won't be able to run the application fully, because with this application we're going to have a stick to move, like a little joystick to move left and right, and then we're going to have a jump button to jump up and down. So if you ever want to move left and right and jump at the same time, well, you're going to need a multi-touching phone to do that. Now most of them do obviously support it nowadays, but some of the older ones don't. So just got to put this in here to support everything. So sorry, your device does not support multi-touch, and we're just going to do, I think it's toast dot, length long. So once the application starts, I'll actually tell them right away. And then after that, we're just going to do return engine options, because we have to return that. So that sets up our engine, the different configurations. We're going to set the landscape, the size of the camera is going to be 800 by 400, and we're going to be using multi-touch. After that, we're going to go down to create resources. Now this is kind of an important part. We're going to stop after this. Now with resources, it's pretty much saying that you want to create, load all the pictures, load all the sounds, all that fun stuff. So we're actually going to create a new class for this so that we can hold all the loading into one class. So we're going to go to create a new class. I'm just going to name it Resource Manager. Now inside of here is where we're going to pretty much load everything. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a few variables up here. The first one is we want this to be a static instance, so so that other classes can get to it without having to be past it. Because just about every single class is going to need access to pictures and stuff. So we're going to do private static final resource manager instance equals new resource manager, and just close it off like that. And after that, we're going to actually create a function at the very end of it, so that you can just type in resource manager.get instance, and from there you can actually get the instance of the resource manager and get the different pictures and stuff. So it doesn't have to be a static. So get public static resource manager get instance, and then just return instance. So it's pretty much converting a static class down to a non-static one, so we can use different functions that aren't static and things that we'll need to use like that. After that, we're going to create a few more functions. Actually, we're going to create it right here. We're going to do this method first. We're going to do public static void prepare manager. So this is going to prepare it to to load the resources properly and get all the images that we need and everything like that. So we're going to do engine, game activity, camera, and vertex buffer object manager VBOM. Now that is pretty much what is going to be loading all of the pictures and drawing them to the screen and such. Not drawing them, but pretty much loading them and everything. So you have to import two things. First is going to be the engine, so you're going to put your mouse over it. You're going to load org.engine.engine. This is pretty much the engine, the game engine. Then we're going to import camera, so org.andengine.engine.camera, and then the vertex buffer, which is only one option. So once that's done, we're going to create four variables. We're going to do private engine. We're going to do private final engine. We can't do final. I'm sorry. Private engine. Can't spell. Engine. Then we're going to do private game activity, and then private camera, and then private vertex buffer object manager VBOM. So now as you can see, we didn't set them to static. So what we need to do is we need to use this function here. So we're going to do get instance, and we're going to do .engine. Oh, we need to change it to public, actually. Changes all to public. I'm just going to copy and paste. Public. So .engine equals engine, and then get instance .activity equals activity, and then get instance .camera equals camera, and then get instance .vbom equals vbom. So that's pretty much going to load, or it's going to set up our resource manager to get ready to load everything. So after that, we're just going to start loading it. So, or start setting up the functions or methods to load. So the first one we're going to set up is, we're actually not going to fill these up, we're just going to set them up. Just going to do public void load menu resources. So this will load all the menu resources that we need. We'll keep it a little bit separated here. We'll do void public void load game resources. We're not going to use any audio or anything like that. So I mean, really, this is going to be what we need right now, and then we're going to add more to it as we go along, of course. Last thing we're going to need is we're going to have to load some fonts in so we can control the screen. So public void load fonts. And that's pretty much going to be it. So this is going to be just our little resource manager here. We're going to go back to game activity. We're going to do resources, or resource manager dot prepare manager. And we're just going to leave these as this dot, I think it's get engine. Yep. So this dot get engine, or you can just type get engine, whichever works for you. We're going to type this for the activity. Leave the camera the same, and we're going to do this dot get vertex buffer object manager. You don't need this for that either. So then once it deselects, you'll see resource manager dot prepare manager get engine, this for the activity, the camera, and then the vertex buffer object manager. Now these two functions here, these come with the base game activity, so that's where those functions are coming from. So that's really all going to be. That's going to be it for now. In the next tutorial, we're going to be starting actually loading some stuff in, getting set up with scenes, all that fun stuff. So thanks for watching. Next video will be up pretty soon. All right, comment, rate, subscribe. See you guys later.